to John.
Go ahead.
John, I've received a complaint from a neighbour. 2 dogs being beaten with a shovel.
Copy that.
Thank you.
Each year, SPCA inspectors attend more than 4,000 complaints, and today John Hedimaya is responding to reports of a serious act of animal cruelty.
The caller doesn't know how badly injured the dog is or whether or not it's still alive.
With no sign of the owner, John goes in search of the dogs, and fortunately they seem unharmed.
These dogs are a bit wary of my presence, so just got to try and win them over. Come on.
Their timid behaviour suggests they may have been mistreated, so John needs to put them on a lead for a closer inspection.
They've probably never been on a lead, so they may react.
Though before he can find out, one of the residents returns home.
I'm John from Auckland SPCA. We just had a concern regarding an incident that happened last night. Concerns are that a person was seen hitting one of the dogs with a shovel.
Yeah, oh no, it's because we came home and the dog had ripped like everything that was on the line.
And did he use a shovel?
Yeah.
Okay, did he do it to both dogs or just one?
I think he missed one of them and just hit the small one.
There's no obvious signs of any external injuries.
Because I actually stopped him from hitting them, so yeah, and then he just backed off a bit.
All right. Do you want the dogs?
Because they're my granddad's dogs, but ever since they've come here, they've just like made a big mess at the back, so we don't actually want them here.
Okay, we'll take the dogs. I will send your partner. I'll grab his details, and I will send him a written warning regarding this incident.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's not acceptable to hit any animal with an object such as a shovel. It's quite a big responsibility having 2 dogs or a dog. So I think in future we'll pay not to get another dog. Okay. Come on, guys. Have they been on a lead before?
No.
Yeah, they're very head shy, so come on.
John's suspicions were correct. The dogs have not been properly socialised, making them a nightmare to catch. Without doubt, this dog is exhibiting the classic behaviour of an animal that's been abused. Eventually, John's gentle approach wins the canine over.
That's the only thing when you get a dog that's never been on a lead, they react. It's not acceptable by any means to hit any animal, especially with a shovel or any object. How often do the dogs get beaten? Every time they do something naughty?
Yeah. But I think yesterday might have been the worst one that they had.
The second dog exhibits the same behaviour. In John's hands, both animals have calmed down, but their distrust of humans might hinder their chance at adoption.
Just freaking out a bit. Well, they have a chance of finding a new home. Yeah, anything's better than being in a situation where they're going to constantly get beaten. If the owners don't want the dogs, then there's no point in having them around. So this is the best option.
Back at headquarters, animals surrendered by the public are coming in record numbers. They're big, they're small, they're cute, and in a variety of colours. Some have even arrived en masse. These puppies have endured a 100-kilometre journey in the boot of this car to be surrendered to the SPCA. They were saved from death by this woman before they were going to be tossed in the ocean, as their owner didn't want to keep them.
We got a black and tan female, a black and tan female, and a black female. All girls.
All girls. Holy cow. I guess I want them all out and
Yes,
the little
please.
puppy
Yep,
incoming.
that'd be cool.
If you just follow Emma out, she'll pop them on. Thank you.
From spring onwards, the number of kittens and puppies brought to the SPCA more than doubles, and it seems this year spring has come early.
They're healthy pups. They look like they're in a very good condition. They're very smelly though and just need a good bath.
And thanks to the donations of time from the many volunteers, the Border Cross pups are well looked after and bathed.
You like that, huh?
Scrubbed, washed and groomed, the next stage for our young pups is a full medical, so they can be fast-tracked for adoption.
These ones look quite nice. There was one that was a bit of a, the runt of the litter, but there was still nothing wrong with it in the sense that we wouldn't try and get it a home. Pleasantly quiet. When they're put on the table, it's all just so unusual and they're all just a little bit overwhelmed, and they don't all yell and scream by any means. And we prefer it when they don't. So all going well if they just eat and drink and behave themselves, and they should be just fine.
John Hirimaya has returned to base with the 2 Brindle Dogs that were repeatedly beaten by their owner, and vet Jody Selinsky's giving them a full checkup.
Alright. Not too bad for a dog that's been whacked on the head with a shovel.
But before he's transferred to the adoption wing, he'll have to pass a behavioural test.
I think he's a bit scared. It's probably more like a calm submissive, like an internal scared like cats and birds get, where they're sort of just kind of hoping we're all going to go away, and they're sort of internally imploding, so to speak. So those dogs can be quite scary too, because you never know when they'll decide to explode. In the past, it's been disciplined around its head. If they've injured the brain, the dog's temperament could be altered because of that. He's got to be thoroughly assessed by one of our dog handlers, and if he passes that, then be able to be desexed and rehomed. Health-wise, he seems okay.
Though it's his younger brother that has the staff most concerned, as he's taken the brunt of the abuse.
This one's face is more swollen on the right-hand side, and he's having trouble opening his eye. You got bashed on the right side, huh? Let's check the good parts out. Big, strong heart. You're a bit timid, aren't you?
Jody's confident the health of both dogs will improve over time, but the real problem is their temperament, which could rule out the possibility of adoption. Across town, a hedgehog and its babies have been in the care of SPCA volunteer Lynn McDonald ever since they were rescued from a fishing net.
We brought the mother and the babies round here in the hope that she might accept the babies and carry on mothering them. Unfortunately, she hasn't done, and the babies have died.
The mother ate the babies because that's what happens.
In fact, it is true, the mother does eat the babies when the things go wrong.
Thought the baby should be outside at night now, and finally decided I'd have a look. And sure enough, no sign of the babies. So she's pulled all her hay in and made herself wrapped up in here, and she's made herself a really good nest inside all the hay. And yep, there she is, fast asleep in there, tucked up really warm.
Kevin's back so he can return the hedgehog to the area where it was found.
She's put on all the weight that she lost when she was tied up in the net. Hedgehogs will travel roughly 2 miles a night in their own territory, and they can travel up to 3 miles. So if you put her back somewhere within a 2 to 3 mile radius, she'll find her own way back. I'm sure she doesn't want to go on the road. So you'll be looking for somewhere that's sort of a little bit overgrown, and then tonight she'll come out and make her way around and sniff out where she's meant to be.
Okay, we'll go and find somewhere to nice and quiet to release her.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Lynn.
See you later.
Good work.
Bye-bye.
A few weeks later, there's good news for the 7 pups saved from drowning. They've now passed all their vet checks and are ready for adoption. What's more, they're about to become the stars of the SPCA's Adopt an Animal campaign.
And action! Come in and grab the dog.
SPCA. You're making a difference when you make a donation.
After an uncertain beginning, the story of these pups has a happy ending. All 7 have been adopted, including this one who's been taken home by the Taylor family.
I've wanted a dog for 16 years. I used to have dogs when I was younger. My husband always said that if I got a dog, he would leave. I don't want him to leave. And then 3 weeks ago, I ran over our cat, who we'd had for 16 years, which was absolutely horrendous. And last Friday, he said we could come and get a dog. And he's the one who's going to be in charge of training her.
We're calling her Kylie.
Kylie.
Because she's got nice legs. Yep. We're going to talk to her in an Australian accent. Kylie. Good deal.
Kylie survived a journey to the SPCA in a car boot, along with her 6 sisters. The usual mode of transport is a cardboard box, which is how most of the 17,000 surrendered animals arrived at the SPCA over the last year.
We just got gathered up these 2 mother cats and kittens. One of our neighbours have abandoned them and moved out, left them behind. Okay. I've been feeding them for a little while, but yeah, I can't keep them, so I had to bring them here.
Okay, cool. Just get you to fill in this form for me if you can.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Debbie already has 4 cats of her own, which is why she couldn't go on feeding the neighbours as well.
People bring them in boxes and things. This has got some air holes, which is good, but in this weather, like when it's getting hotter, they just basically cook. She's just stressed. This is just from herself dribbling, I think, mostly. The worst is when people put them in those chili bins and things because they've got no air at all, and they basically just cook in them. And, you know, combined with being in the car, yeah, it's just far too hot for them, basically.
The first cardboard box contains a mother and her 2 kittens, and the second a mum with a litter of 5.
This lot is a little bit different. The mother looks great, and she's got a great personality as well. And the kid, you have a good personality too. And the little kittens have a good personality, but they're clearly not up to weight. So what we will do is we will send them out to a foster home.
Without the help of volunteers who provide the foster homes for many of the animals, the staff would be unable to cope with demand.
We will have them grow up until they're about 800 grams, till about 8 weeks, and then we'll de-sex them and then send them off on their way to get a new home.
Kitten season runs from November through March, and last year the SPCA received more kittens than any previous year, putting their facilities under real pressure. Even so, they managed to find homes for thousands of felines. Though for this little girl it's a devastating loss when she has to give up a stray kitten that turned up at her home.
We asked some people across the road if it was theirs, but they said it wasn't.
The cat turned up in her driveway, and Madeleine's a bit of a magnet for animals, and it sort of adopted her. But we've already got a cat, and they don't get on, and it doesn't look terribly well. It's got a weeping eye and it's sneezing. So we thought the best thing was to bring it to the SPCA, and hopefully it'll get better and someone else will adopt it.
We'll look after him, all right? He'll be okay.
Jeff, call 428, thank you.
Today, the 2 dogs beaten by their owner are about to face a behavioural test to see if they're suitable to be rehomed.
We are a bit worried basically about both of them for 2 reasons. One, obviously, the fact that that they have been physically abused by being hit with shovels. So obviously one would expect that that's going to have a few consequences in terms of their learned behaviour. The other thing too, being litter mates, and it's obvious that if the owner hasn't done too much with them, they tend to stick together and basically learn bad habits off each other.
The youngest one is the first to be tested, with Rachel observing his behaviour to see if he reacts aggressively.
He just instantly licks, and that's a really good response.
And if he minds being touched.
Throughout a dog's life, they're going to have vet treatment and have nails cut and things like that, so we want them to actually be not too bothered by having bits of their body touched and poked and prodded. Come on.
She's also interested in his level of trust.
Yes, you are. Good boy. It's an excellent response. We can learn a lot off them. Hey, you're very forgiving. Yeah, do many kisses. Good boy. The fact that he is so forgiving and he likes attention and that he's going to be a reasonably easy dog to train. He will make a really good family pet.
Unfortunately, the behaviour of his brother is a real contrast.
Good boy. Come on. No, come on. Good boy. Come on. Can you come? Can you come?
This test assesses the dog's reaction to loud noise and sudden movement.
Bit worse than your brother, aren't you? This guy seems quite a bit worse than his brother, just in terms of his initial reactions and everything so far. He's standing here very still, but he's actually just terrified silly, which is not a good thing. At least he hasn't run away or bitten me yet, which is a good thing.
It's clear the dog's history of abuse has had a big effect on his behaviour.
There's no forgiveness there, from him. He's not showing any desire to want to come to me for attention. I mean, he's just absolutely terrified. Everything is just really freaking him out. In his credit, he hasn't reacted in an aggressive way, but he's got absolutely no trust in people.
So the future looks bright for one of our abuse victims, but not the other. It's likely the younger dog will be suitable for adoption, though it may be a long time before his brother can trust humans again. The animal sanctuary run by SPCA volunteer Lynn McDonald is once again playing host to a prickly guest, and it turns out he's something of a rare sight.
This one's very unusual insofar as it's a white one. It was found in the West Auckland area. There's certainly not many of them out there. It's the only one I've actually ever held. I think this one's probably about 2 or 3 years old. They don't have a very long lifespan, 5 years maybe in the wild, maybe 10 years in captivity.
There's been a lot of interest in this albino hedgehog, even several offers of adoption.
I'm very keen that this just goes back to where it came from. It's been living a good life anyway, and I don't think they need to be in captivity. They're not pets, they're just a little wild creature that mostly lives in our cities. They get a little bit tame by the time you've finished looking after them because they get used to your smell.
When he first arrived, he had mange, a skin infection normally associated with dogs. Though in hedgehogs, it causes their prickles to fall out.
They've all fallen off and gone completely bald, and now that's all new prickles growing back. It's very nearly ready for release, and I'm just going to release it back to the location it came from.
Thanks to Lynn's healing touch, the albino's the picture of health. Though he's just one of many patients recuperating on the property, some of whom would have died without her intervention.
Yes, you're just about ready to fly, aren't you? You are a little one.
The kittens who were brought to the SPCA in cardboard boxes have now completed their time in foster care and are attracting a lot of attention in the adoption area.
Yeah, that one likes me, I think.
Eleanor and her mother Mandy have spotted one of the last in the litter still to be adopted.
We think we'll call this cat Bella because we think she might be a good name. It might be a good name.
She's tortoiseshell, which was my main thing, and it's a girl, which is what Eleanor really wanted.
Yes.
And she's just a little bit fluffy, so she'd be nice and cuddly.
Tony and his son Luke have fallen for the tabby that arrived in the second cardboard box.
Little black one.
Do you want that one?
Yes, please.
Yeah? Oh, she is cute, eh?
Yeah.
And she's about to meet her new owners.
She's a cute one, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, she likes you.
Can we please have the sun? Okay.
Though the news isn't quite so good for the 2 brindle dogs that were victims of abuse. After further testing, the older, more timid dog showed no improvement. And despite the SPCA's best efforts, he became aggressive and had to be put to sleep. His younger brother has been in the dog adoption area now for several weeks, and so far no one has taken him home. So, to attract attention, the staff have made him Puppy of the Week, hoping he'll find a new owner before the holiday season arrives. Could this be his lucky day?
Want to come for a walk? Eh? I just need a pal. I had a heart attack last year, and I need the exercise. I need to get out there and walk twice a day, and I've just looked after a dog like this, and it's great. He can come everywhere with me and be a pal, you know. He's ready for anything. And I am too, you know, like, he's ready to go at all the times. That'll be good, you know. We'll be good mates. We'll get around together, hang out. It'll be cool.